Did you know that 65% of millionaires have multiple income streams? Actually, according to this article on CNBC, this author, Tom Corley, who wrote The Rich Habits, talks about 65% of millionaires had 3 streams of income, 45% had 4 streams of income, and 29% had 5 or more streams of income. If you're new to the channel, my name is Tariq Johnson. I built a multi-million-dollar franchise business with locations in California and Florida. And in this video, we're going to talk about multiple income streams and how you can use it to help build your wealth. So this is probably one of my favorite topics, multiple streams of income. I remember over 10, 12 years ago, living in my parents' house. And I remember having this quote and this phrase on the wall of my room that said, "I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities and amounts through multiple sources on a continuous basis." And I used to read this phrase over and over and over and over and over again, thinking that if I said it to myself enough times and I reinforced it enough, that at some point I could make it happen in my life. And currently, I have multiple sources of income between the full-time work that I do and the franchises, real estate investing. My wife has multiple sources of income as well. I can tell you that it has really been a blessing for us. It has helped us to create more and more financial freedom. Currently, I save and invest over 40% of my income. Save and invest over 40% of my income. And I can tell you that without having multiple streams of income, I would not be able to do it. Now, if you're interested in how I created multiple streams of income, I actually made a video about how I built a multi-million-dollar franchise business. And so you can check out that video here. Guys, I'll leave some links in the description below. There's a couple of videos on how I built a multi-million-dollar franchise business, on how I made and make passive income with franchises. Owning a franchise can be a very powerful tool to build multiple streams of income. I think a lot of people think that in order to own a franchise, you actually have to quit your job, which is not the case. Both franchise locations that we had in California and in Florida at that time, although there were periods of me not working my full-time job so that I can get the businesses going and up and running, there were time periods where I was making my full-time income and we had our franchises, and that's when we were able to save and invest and really make the strongest financial moves because of that. Now more than ever, it's more important to have multiple streams of income. I mean, when you see the devastating statistics of what has happened after the coronavirus and how many millions and millions of people have lost their jobs and been on unemployment and struggling. So guys, if you have any questions about multiple streams of income and how you can start creating multiple streams of income for yourself right now, drop me a comment below. I try to answer all of the questions personally. When you have multiple streams of income in place, although your streams of income may not be as much as your full-time job, but at least you have something there to rely on if something happens, if you were to lose your job, if you were to get fired, or if you just got completely fed up and said, "I quit," because you got tired of someone bossing you around and telling you what to do. So having multiple streams of income has a lot of benefits to it. How can you actually create multiple streams of income? Well, I'm going to go over some of the advice that Tom Corley gives in the CNBC article. So the first tip that he gives is to save, save, save. So save 10 to 20% of your net income every year. And guys, like I said, right now, I'm actually saving over 40% of my net income every year. And part of the reason why I'm able to do that is because my wife and I have a strong household income. So my wife works and has a successful business. So I work and I have a job where not only do I get a healthy salary, but I also get commissions on the revenue that I generate for my company. And then we have our franchise business that generates passive income for us. And up until about 2 months ago, we had 2 franchise locations that was generating passive income. So we had all these sources of income coming in. And at one point, we were actually renting out our old house in Jacksonville because we had moved. Our house was paid off, so we were renting that house, and all of the rental income that was generated from that home, we were able to use to supplement our expenses. So the second way to create multiple streams of income, according to this article by Tom Corley on CNBC, is to learn. So make sure that you're developing new skills and habits so that you can use those skills in order to generate additional income. So what you can do is you can take those skills and turn it into a side business. So you have companies like Fiverr and Udemy and Kajabi. There's all these different sites where you can actually monetize your skill sets. So if you can learn a new skill set, let's say like SEO. Right now, we are in the world where everything is online and in the internet. And one of the greatest values that you could provide is maybe learning how to help local business owners rank higher. So as an example, I own multiple juice and smoothie franchise locations. And if someone came to me and said, hey, I can help you rank higher for when people are looking for your product in the area in which your business is, well, that would be very valuable. So if you could learn a skill like that and then use that skill and go out and charge people for it, you can create an additional income stream. So number 3 on here is to invest. And he talks about specifically invest part of your savings in a side business that will one day generate an additional income stream. And for me, this one really resonates with me a lot. When I think about the first franchise business that my wife and I opened and invested in California, this was the exact reason why we made this investment. At the time, I was working as a financial advisor, and because of the investment licenses that I had, it was incredibly regulated. So they were so restricted about what I could do. As an example, working as a financial advisor with those investment firms, I could not make videos like this. There was one point where I created a little ebook that I wanted to give away online, and my compliance department made me send them the ebook, and they went through reading through and editing the ebook saying, you can say this, but you can't say this, and you can't say this. And so it was nuts. And my wife and I decided to start investing in our first franchise location so that we could have an additional income stream created for at some point when I wanted to make the transition. Transitioning to me was really scary. So at that time, in that role as a financial advisor, I could easily make $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 a month in income because I got paid and compensated off of the revenue that I generated for my company. So the idea in leaving that security and that income that I had with my job was really scary. I mean, we had a great lifestyle at the time. We were living in this beautiful house in the mountains. It was over 5,000 square feet, and we had 5 acres, and I was driving a beautiful car, and we just really were enjoying a great lifestyle. So deciding to invest in our first franchise was a way to create an additional income stream so that at some point I could pivot and really start to focus on what it is that I truly wanted to do. And so later on, having those multiple streams of income, when we moved from California to Florida, we decided to invest and buy another franchise business and location. And because at that time I had invested in property to create multiple streams of income back in 2011. So I bought my first house when I was, 21, 22 years old. And I rented that house out after I lived in it for the first year. Actually, here's an interesting story. That after I bought that house, my good friend of mine is and was a real estate agent. And he said, hey, I got this family that's going to be moving to the area. They're looking for a place to stay and live. And would you mind letting them stay with you, and they'll pay you for a few months while they figure out and find the house that they want. So there was about a 3-month period of time where I lived in my basement in my townhouse. I let the family rent out and stay in the top 2 rooms. My mortgage payment was only $1,100 a month, but I was getting $800 a month from them. So I was only having to pay $300 a month towards my mortgage. And at that time, I had just started to make some really good money. I was having months where I was making $10,000 a month because I was, again, a financial advisor where I got to be compensated off of the revenue that I generated for my company. So I was actually able to pay off about $15,000 of debt about 3 to 4 months' time because of the income that I was able to generate and because I had multiple streams of income as I was renting out my house. And then I wind up moving and traveling all over the country speaking for Tony Robbins. And while I did that, I was renting out that house. And I rented it out for the next 7 years. Then I sold that property, took the money that I made on that property, and then invested it into our second franchise location. And so now we have these streams of income that generate additional money for us. And so you can do the same thing. No matter what level you're on, you can start to create multiple streams of income. You can do that by having a little side hustle and either taking the skills that you currently have with what you studied in school or what your current work is now and figure out a way to generate additional streams of income. You can start investing in real estate to help generate additional income streams for you. And you can start investing in different businesses. And a franchise business is a great idea to start creating those multiple streams of income. And actually, if you want, you can head to my website. I created this 7-step blueprint on business profits in 60 days. And it's basically like a 10-minute read. And I documented exactly how we got our first franchise business profitable in less than 2 months. And you can actually use that guide and that blueprint and use it to make any business profitable in 60 days, whether that's a retail business, a side business, or an internet business. So I definitely recommend you go to my website and grab that free blueprint. So the last one that Tom Corley talks about is to reinvest. And so once your side gigs begin generating cash flow, is to reinvest that cash flow into either growing a business or investing that cash flow into assets that generate passive income. So one of the things that we did is with the franchise business, my wife and I opened up some investment accounts, and we started taking some of that income that we were generating from our franchise businesses and starting investing it in Vanguard mutual funds. And so at the time, what we did was he said, okay, let's take $2,000 a month and just set it up on autopilot to just automatically invest into some mutual funds. And so those investments have already started to grow and grow. And then all of a sudden, it's over a year later, and we look at our account and we've accumulated a nice chunk of money into our investment account because we took the income that we were generating from our earnings and from our multiple streams of income, and we were reinvesting and reinvesting and reinvesting. And now, after having sold one of the franchise locations, we now took a chunk of that money, already invested it in some stocks in the stock market, and now we're looking at taking another chunk of that money and buying another franchise business. And then we're also looking at investing in some real estate opportunities as well. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and make sure you like the video for the YouTube algorithm. Drop me a comment below and tell me what kind of investments or multiple streams of income that you're interested in or that you're looking at. I'd love to hear what you are working on.